Hey everyone, this video is a follow-up to my previous Destiny video. Last time I talked about the release of Shadowkeep and the subsequent seasons following that major DLC release. Since then we've had 2 more seasons of content and a lot has happened since then. Now if you've watched my last video then you probably know my feelings towards Shadowkeep and the seasons following it. I wasn't happy with the state of the game back then. In fact, I completely walked away from the game and have only just recently come back to it. I think it's a good idea to take a break from a game like Destiny every now and then and play something else. The constant grinding can be fun, but after a while, especially the middle of a season, it becomes boring and repetitive and you're just grinding up the numbers hoping for a god roll or something like that. So it's okay to take a break from a game and play something else. But that also ties into why I think Bungie has made the level and gear grind more suited to hardcore Destiny players than more casual players. I'm also going to be talking about this current season, the Season of Arrivals, and my hopes for Beyond Light and the future seasons and expansions for Destiny 2. So the question is, how's Destiny 2 been lately? I've been playing Destiny 2 a lot lately. I came back to it about 3 weeks ago, and to be honest, a few things have brought me back. Firstly, I just missed playing a good first-person shooter, and one that I'm reasonably good at. I've been playing Modern Warfare a fair bit lately, and I'm terrible at that game, so I wanted to come back to something I was familiar with. Secondly, the story has progressed a fair bit since last season. I'm heavily invested in the story and ongoing narrative of the Destiny franchise. I've been here since day one, and things are finally reaching almost an ending or a finality. The big bad darkness is here, and the story feels like it's leading towards a clash of the light and the dark. This has been teased at us at the beginning, and it's awesome to see it come to fruition right in front of our eyes. And to be honest, Bungie is doing an incredible job with it. Each week we are going around and helping out planets trying to hold back the darkness. Even though every season has had a similar sort of event, it actually feels like every time we complete a run of the public event, it feels like we are building up to fight the darkness. And you actually feel like you're being rewarded good loot for completing it. The way you can pick and choose what sort of loot you want to get is a genius way to make people farm the event. And the event itself is actually fun to do. It's simply defeating enemies and depositing their dropped emotes to the machine in the center. The last few seasons events were boring and almost no one was doing them, so it was sometimes impossible for solo or multiple players to finish them. But the contact event is simple and doable. And that leads me into the Season Pass. I've been critical of the Destiny Season Pass for a while. I've always felt that the Season Passes are built on the fear of missing out. Before Bungie started the whole Season Pass model, the previous seasons, or DLC, actually stayed around long after launch. You can actually still play them today, not for much longer, but we will get to that in a bit. Those seasons had different activities and added brand new content that had never before been seen in Destiny 2. The newer seasons, however, go away after a few months and the next season starts. So if a player bought the Season Pass and didn't get all the loot they wanted because they were working or playing something else, and just didn't have the time to sit down and play hours upon hours of Destiny 2, then they have missed out and not gotten their money's worth. It shouldn't take me playing 3 separate characters to level up the Season Pass before the season ends because I'm worried about what I'm going to miss out on. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the grind of Destiny 2, but I know a lot of people who don't have the time to play endless hours and level up super quickly like you see a lot of Destiny YouTubers do. Plus there are other games out there, and a lot of people need to pick and choose what they're going to spend their time playing. I'm not calling for Destiny to be a more casual experience, but Bungie needs to realise that their leveling system is broken, and the rewards you get aren't enough to keep you entertained. Giving players the same weapons over and over again becomes boring and outdated real fast. To players like me, it's fun because I like to see what sort of rolls I can get and hopefully get a god roll. But players who only have a few hours to play per night don't have the time to spend hours upon hours doing the same missions just to get the same weapons and armor they already have. That leads me onto this current season and the new DLC expansion, Beyond Light, coming out in November. I'm really looking forward to the end of this season and Beyond Light. I feel like some storylines are finally going to get some form of conclusion that we've been waiting for, as well as new weapons, armor, and a brand new subclass called Stasis. Beyond Light is also introducing a new area for players to explore, Europa, one of the moons of Jupiter. It's going to be exciting to explore a brand new area in Destiny 2. The last time we got a brand new unexplored playable area was all the way back in the Season of Opulence. I don't count the moon so much because most of it was an area we had already explored in Destiny 1. But Europa looks interesting. It's an icy cold landscape with deep dungeons and old Golden Age facilities buried just under the ice. But this does make me worried. When Bungie announced that this was a new DLC, they also announced what was going to be happening going forward with older content. They announced that a few planets were being taken away for the time being. The planets Io, Titan, Mars, and Mercury were being vaulted, meaning they could be brought back at a later date if Bungie found use for them. The whole reason they're doing this is Destiny 2's file size has become quite big, and load times for the game has become excruciating for players, especially on console. I play mostly on my Xbox, but I have started to play a fair bit of Destiny 2 on my PC as well, and the load times are so much better than what they are on the console. It's actually laughable how bad it is, and I know a lot of the community have constantly complained to Bungie of how bad this is, but they have yet to fix it, so hopefully we'll see a change in Beyond Light. As you can see, Destiny on the Xbox is awful for load times, and I don't think Bungie wants Destiny to become any bigger than it already is, not like some other games I know. I'm looking at you, Modern Warfare. You have to remember Bungie no longer has the backing of Activision and the resources that it brings to keep adding layer upon layer to Destiny 2. They aren't a small studio, but they are independent, so it's easier for them to vault some stuff that isn't played as often as the newer stuff. But as I said before, it does make me worried. What about the new players coming to Destiny 2? Bungie announced at the Xbox Showcase the other day that Destiny 2 is coming to Game Pass, meaning that all Xbox players will get all the old DLCs and the new expansions for free. But a new player coming into Destiny 2 that wants to start from the Red War and make their way through the Warmind and the Curse of Osiris DLCs to get the whole story won't be able to once those planets are vaulted. And what about people like me who paid for that content before it became free when Shadowkeep launched? Isn't that technically taking away the product I paid for? Stuff like this makes you realise that we don't really own the digital products we use. We're just paying a licensing fee to be able to play it for the duration that Bungie decides, until they want to take it away. As I said before, Bungie has said they might bring these planets back in the future if the story or community really wanted it to. But it's completely up to them. On one hand, I'm fine with it. I've been playing Destiny 2 since launch, so I've found all the secrets there is to find on these planets. I'm okay with them going away so we can get something new, but on the other hand, it takes away part of the experience and content that Destiny 2 has to offer for newer players. I sort of hope they bring back these planets on a 6-month rotation or even a seasonal rotation, so at least these planets aren't going away for long durations of time. I do like how they're getting rid of the planets in the story though. Each planet being vaulted are currently under attack from the Pyramid ships, and I'm guessing towards the end of the season these planets will eventually be completely overrun with minions of the darkness. It's a unique way to get rid of the planets, and I just hope that Europa can somehow fill the void that these planets leave behind. We're just going to have to wait until November to see what Beyond Light is like. It's still crazy to me that Bungie announced the next 2 expansions after Beyond Light as well. Those expansions are The Witch Queen, seemingly referring to Savathun, the sister of the Taken King Oryx, who we had defeated in Destiny 1's The Taken King expansion, as well as Lightfall, releasing in 2022. We have no idea what Lightfall is going to be at this point, but I have a feeling that Bungie will use Lightfall to change the game again. Maybe try and usher in a new era of the Destiny franchise. Now, Bungie has said they don't want to simply make a Destiny 3, and I'm all for that. I would hate to have to restart from the beginning again like we did in Destiny 2. I see this as a way of Bungie broadening the horizons of the Destiny galaxy. Currently, we have only seen our own solar system, and we have never travelled outside the boundaries of what we know. But what if these expansions are leading up to changing that? What if we are able to go outside our own galaxy and see what other things the galaxy has to offer us Guardians? It seems like they are teasing it already with the talks we have with Eris Morn at the end of the weekly missions. She tells us through her messages from the darkness that us embracing the dark powers will give us the ability to leave our solar system, to rise beyond the borders and out into the wider galaxy. But on the other hand, is this just another trick the darkness is trying to use to deceive us? Who knows? This is just me speculating on what future expansions may bring. It's speculating like that that makes me excited for the future of Destiny 2. At the end of my previous video about Bungie and Destiny, I was pretty much done with this game. I was prepared to go to play something else like Final Fantasy XIV or even WoW to try and sink my time into. But all this new content Bungie's been implementing into the game, as well as the promise of awesome and huge new expansions, has gotten me excited to be playing this game again. Destiny 2 is in a fantastic place at the moment, and if you're not playing it, you're seriously missing out. So go play it right now. Thanks for watching.